Hello, everybody. My name is Richard Hyperion, and welcome back to the Wilds of Wildemount campaign. This is part 2 of session 22. And, along with our cast from part 1, we also have Kale and Quinn joining us for part 2. Kale, of course, playing Brine, and Quinn playing Anemo. I got the name right.
Let's go.
Well, sometimes an animal, depending on which state the moon is in.
So, in order to make your way towards the to the archive, you conveniently have to stop. Excuse me. You conveniently walk right past where the Judge Renette's abode is, which just so happens to have two of your favorite people inside.
Are they?
My parents? I mean, what?
My parents? Finally.
It has one of my favorites, at least.
Yo.
Brine!
Hello.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm sorry. I was distracted. I was showing Anemo this watch. You know, we kind of blew past it. He kind of paid for part of it, and I think he should have it. It doesn't really fit my complexion anyway.
Yeah.
Here, the gold really works well with your blue skin.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give him the watch. You can
You
tell.
now have a timepiece that lets you keep track of time, the day, and most importantly, the phases of the moon.
Good shit. Phase Moon Watch.
That works.
That phasers to moon.
Anyway, what have you been doing? And
Yo, it's your boy Phase Moon. Welcome.
real quick, is there anybody extra with them?
Nope.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, there is. One person.
Yep.
And who is this? She's just going to point.
My name is Nahiri.
Oh, and here.
She's
Yeah.
a friend of Windchime's.
Oh, right. Winter, I was talking about you. I wasn't really paying attention. I apologize. How
That's-
are you?
I am doing pretty good, I guess. This is a nice place you guys have here.
Oh no, it's not ours. We're just
Yeah, I know. You're staying at a old companion you did a job for. Apparently.
Yeah, well, I didn't, but apparently these guys, and she's gonna gesture wildly. Sadly, these guys did something useful, so now we have a place to stay. It's nice.
Super nice.
I don't know if I should be offended by that, but okay.
Why would you be offended? You did something awesome. I'm pumping you up.
We're here to pump you up.
Anyway, they said that we were stopping here before we head to the library.
What are we researching?
Everything everywhere.
All
at once?
That joke is probably not going to date well.
Man, esoteric humor makes it funny. That's the point.
Well, personally, I was going to research what to expect along the way going to Allfield. Topography, wildlife, the various people we'll meet and the different factions there are.
Alright, alright.
Well, I was going to dip my toes into multiple different academic topics of interest. Some pertaining to fire genasi, more investigations about lycanthropy in cases of curses through lycanthropy and what we can do about them. Something about gates, rifts, portals to other worlds. Possibly also the study of magic, specifically a discipline of magic around dunamancy. I was thinking maybe if I had time I'd look into it more about Orcus. You know, the entity down at the bottom of the...
Sounds like you have a lot of topics.
That is a lot of topics. I'm not
Would
sure
you-
we quite have the time.
Would you like help?
That would be appreciated.
Alright. And she's gonna, like, kind of walk over to Edward and, like, clutch his arm. I'm going with him.
Kind of thought we were all going to the same
I
place.
didn't.
I thought
I
so
don't.
too. We were just going to go
I
together.
don't know who this new person is, but yeah, I completely agree. I thought we were all going together. What was?
It's like a group study session. In a group. With everyone.
And then we're gonna study.
I don't know how I'll get everybody. Oh, whatever. I'll just try.
What?
What do you mean you're gonna get I'm very confused.
The archives! They're restricted. It's not easy to get a whole group
Well-
in.
There are parts of the archive that's restrictive.
Yeah.
Not all of the archive. The archive does have a lot of open knowledge. It is a library that anybody could just go to.
Mm-hmm.
Us, look at
There are
me,
restricted
Sophie.
sections, so.
Right. Which is what I was implying wanted to go into.
Oh,
I just want to make sure we're clear.
Yeah. I'm aware that if we remember, Brom did try and learn how to read from C Spot Run in the library.
I mean, you're forgetting the fact that you can smuggle an entire party with a bag of holding.
no!
Stop. You could also smother an entire party with bag of holding. We don't need to.
No, we can't smother you. You don't need to breathe.
That's
I'm glad
we
you don't have a-
Smuggle you
I'm glad that
into
you
places
don't
in
have an
bags of
accurate-
holding?
No, wait, no, we can't. We technically can. It says as long as you are conscious, you don't need to breathe. But when you get tired and you fall asleep, you just stop breathing and you die.
I will just stay awake. All right.
You can't stay awake forever.
You are underestimating me.
Does he
I like
have
how-
a decanter of endless coffee?
Can you drink coffee when you're not breathing?
All the questions. Anemo, answer all of them.
Oh
I'm sure
no!
I could. I'm a genius. I
Well,
could manage.
Well, that sounds like that doesn't
All
sound.
right, so you can get into the bag of holding, is what you're saying.
That sounds less like research and more like torture.
True. Let's not run experiments on.
You know, if we
Anemo.
put like fancy furniture inside the bag of holding, I'm sure whoever crawls in gets to like furnish it to be like a nice pocket dimension space inside of the bag. It'll be like a nice warehouse with like a little resting area with like a lamp and a table.
I think we're
could,
overthinking
like,
this.
We could put an air freshener in there. Maybe one of those like lamps that like have like the floating balls of goo.
Oh, you're smart.
Lava lamp.
Oh my god, a bean bag. That would be really cool.
And we could make the entire inside smell like lemons. I don't know why. Ask Edward.
He is the one.
Edward, why do we gotta make it like lemons?
He has a fascination with prestidigitating
I don't
stuff
have
with
a
the scent
fascination
of lemons.
for lemons. It just happens to be the first scent that I decided to put that didn't smell absolutely
No.
horrid.
Actually, lemons make me remember bad memories.
Oh,
Did life give you lemons? Did you forget?
Fine,
to
I'll
make
keep that
lemonade?
in mind next time I flavor your water into cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
What the hell did? What the hell
And
did
thus,
Windchime do?
and thus began the infamous lemon wars between the Legati Company. Lemons were thus placed in every Christmas gift and birthday celebration.
Christmas? What the hell is Christmas?
Oh, it's some pagan holiday. I'm not really sure.
What's a pagan?
Those who do not follow the main pantheon of gods. What book are you reading from?
The book of how to get in your mom's pants.
Boom, got him.
Jesus.
Now, can we go? I'm really excited to go to the library.
Let's head out.
I suppose so.
You guys find yourself. We're gonna. By the way, just for your information, it is a rainy day today. Dreary clouds, deep and dark above overhead, with a gentle pitter patter across the streets. You see a lot of people are head down, walking to their specific destination, while the streets are still have a variety of folks from all over. People seem to be a little bit less chatty than you would normally would see. And the city, despite the constant hum and of rain hitting various textiles, it feels rather quiet. But not in a bad or ominous way, just a dreary day.
Brian's gonna pull up her cloak a little farther.
Are we at the library?
Now you are.
I'm gonna prestidigitate and clean the water off of everybody.
I'm gonna help just make it a faster process.
Magic.
It's
Those
useful.
Those are some pretty nifty tricks you guys got.
I mean, it's one of the most basic spells that they teach you. One of the
I mean,
first few
it's
spells that
really
I
cool.
know.
Do you
I
want to
know
see the instructions in the book?
Sure.
I'm gonna take out the Warlock Tome to show her the page that essentially I had to have on me in order to cast prestidigitation.
Oh my god, is this written in blood?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'm just kidding. Is there a chance? She gives you a look.
50-50?
Is the ink like
That's-
red, like a dark dried red?
That's not reassuring. But, like, kind of cool. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, do you want
That's
me to
fucking
find
hard.
out if it's made of blood?
Can you tell?
I mean, you can give me 10 minutes, I can identify it
God
for you.
damn it!
Does it
Later.
sound funny?
Later when we have nothing to do. We've got time-sensitive research.
Yeah, fair enough, we should make haste. Some other time, probably.
But yes, maybe it's blood. Maybe
Ooh.
it's octopus ink. Maybe.
well, octopus ink
I
is.
mean, I thought you mean squid ink. I would
Yeah,
imagine
octopus
that was
ink?
probably-
What is that?
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I know what octopus ink is. I don't know why I said that. I'm nervous. Let's go.
But I had more theories. Like, what if it's made out of the purest dark essence of the soul?
You read too much into this, Brian. You know that.
It's
I
literally a
think-
book. What else are you supposed to do with it?
It's a book.
It's a book. That's what you do to books. You read them.
I mean,
As you guys walk into the archive, You see towering on either side of you, shelves and shelves and shelves of books, and lots of little nooks and crannies for people to get lost in. The ceilings are at least 30 feet tall, with even a second balcony beyond that. As you can kind of glance up to see the second story. You walk in and there is a round desk that you're greeted with pretty directly, and a blue-skinned tiefling sitting at the counter with half-moon glasses perched low upon his face.
Hello.
Hold on.
Hello. What can I do for you?
Me and my friend here. Now I'm gonna gesture at Edward. We're looking for studies on extraplanar portals, perhaps pertaining to ones in the area of Palmaflora, and where was the other one on the map?
I'm gonna pull out a slip of paper. Ashkeeper Peaks, east of it.
And Ashkeeper Peaks. If one of these studies happens to be private, I am apprentice guild member Brine Azori, if that helps.
Do you have your badge?
I will. Oh, did I lose it when I was underwater, or
Yeah.
do I have it?
Yeah, you lost it. Completely.
Unfortunately, I had a. On my way here, my ship sank, and during the occasion, I lost it. Is there any way I can prove my identity in a different way?
I'm sorry to hear that you went through that. Let me see if I can manually look it up. And you see he kind of reaches underneath the counter and pulls out a thick, dusty tome. I mean, this thing has gotta be at least 8 inches thick. And just, like, pretty dusty as it kind of... He puts it down on the counter with a large thump. As he flips through it, you see... just at a glance, looking kind of over, you see just lines and lines of what appear to be names. Just so many names. And he flips again. Zori, Zori, Zori. How do you spell that?
EZORI.
Alright, right here. Zori Brine. He kind of looks down at it, looks up at you. You fit the physical description. Let me just, you see his hands are, like, go out in front of him as he, waves some sort of somatic component. A pseudo-somatic component. I'm kidding. And he looks at you and says, "It appears that you are who you say you are. All right. I have no issues allowing you into the deeper parts of the archives. Tier 1 only. However, I'll need an explanation for his presence. I'll need to take down some information, etc., etc."
He is more knowledgeable in the subject than I. He's a personal connection to these rifts, and his assistance is required for me to understand what I'm even looking at, to be quite honest.
Alrighty. He kind of flits back behind the desk, pulls out a clipboard with a piece of paper, with various things for you to fill out. Edward, bring that back, and I'll see about getting him a private pass, or a temporary pass. Excuse me.
Is there any way I could? I obviously know you. There's probably a process as to getting a replacement badge, but a temporary one while I go back to Nicodranas to see my institution and get one at my home. At my local branch.
Of course. Again, a piece of paper comes out, pops on a clipboard, fill this out. It's gonna be 5 gold.
Shit. I don't have that.
I'm gonna hand him 5 gold pieces.
Or
The tiefling.
Pardon?
oh, never
Thank
mind.
you.
I thought okay.
Yeah.
I'm paying.
And he says, alright. Let's fill that out.
I'm gonna take like a quick glimpse at, like, I'm gonna scan through the. Is this just like a typical like liability waiver?
Basically, a bit of information on who you are, a brief description about like what you're doing here, your relationship with the member who you're accompanying with. There's a bit of stuff for Brine to fill out too regarding her.
By the way,
guardian.
neither of us can afford it if you damage anything in any way. I would be in so much trouble.
I'll try my best to be the most careful that I can.
I know. I trust you.
Yes, fill out your paperwork. The other lot of you. You make your way in. Do you stop by the front desk for anything, or are you just gonna go browsing?
If they
Before
have no problem with it, Moonzik or Chimi's just gonna go browsing.
There's nothing that you have to do to enter the library.
Okay.
There are specific things.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this is just for nerds to be nerds. Before you guys go, I'm gonna like tear off a small slip of paper. I'm gonna write down, look more into lycanthropy, and then I'm gonna hand them the slip of paper. It's like a small you can see like a small list of stuff, and part of it you can tell that like the bottom row said look more into lycanthropy, and then that part was torn off from the sheet of paper. And then I'm gonna hand it over and say, here. I mean, I was going to put this on my list of things I was going to look up, but if you could probably. It would help if you at least grabbed a book or two. At least read the contents of it a little, if it brings any solace towards Anemo's condition.
Okay. I'll see what I can look up.
Thank you. With that, I'm gonna turn around and start filling out the waiver.
Okay. You return that to him, and he looks it all over. Seems to be inscribing something. He places his hand on it, presses a piece of paper into a different book he's got, does some sort of something, and with all of your forms and things filled out, he hands you, Brine, a little badge with the symbol of the archives on it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Do you know how to get up to the level? Tier 1?
She's going to blush. I've been up there before, but I don't actually know where the stairway is.
This way. It takes you over to the location, and like, as normal, just place your badge right there, and you should be all good to go. And you guys are exit up into the upper level of the library. While you guys are finding your ways about, the rest of you, what are you doing in the library? What are you looking up? What books are you gonna find? Trying to find.
I'm just gonna pander to the captain today. Just gonna like, whatever you're doing, I'm doing. You know.
All right. But we're not on the ship anymore. Technically, I'm not the captain.
You're always my captain.
You're sweet. Thank you so much. Well, I suppose Edward did want us to look into lycanthropy for you. And personally, I wanted to take a look at the information about, but the Wuyun Gorge and all the other areas between Nicodranus and Allfield. Topography, wildlife, and social factions in the sort.
Yeah.
Whichever one you want to take, I'll take the other.
Well, I mean, it makes sense for me to study werewolves.
Fair enough.
I mean, I feel like I might know a little bit about werewolves myself. You know.
Alright.
Lycanthropy. But, I guess it doesn't hurt to figure out some extra details.
Not at all. It's up to you. If you feel comfortable with it, by all means.
He just nods his head.
Then we'll go look up those some books on those subjects.
We'll start off with Moonzik. Go ahead and roll me a investigation.
Hey.
Okay. So you say there's the most important bit between Nicodranus and Allfield is the Wuyun Gorge and the Wuyun Gates and Trossenwald. Three very notable landmarks that you will have to go through. You know about you find a couple of books regarding the general topography of that area. The Wuyun Gorge is basically where the Ashkeeper Peaks meet the Sirios Mountains, right?
Yeah.
There's this big, imposing gate that stands at least 20 feet tall, 15 feet wide. It's very large.
Now by gate, is this actually like land feature that kind of like blocks things off, or is it just like a little gap in the middle, or is it like an actual man-made gate? Okay.
So it is a gate that is between two cliff sides.
Okay, I gotcha.
And you see there's there is a walls that like extend from the cliff to the actual gates that are always going to be patrolled by the Crown's Guard. Basically, it makes you kind of the impression that you get is very imposing, and that despite the fact that there is no, despite what?
Go ahead. That was just kind of like a out loud kind of utterance.
Mm-hmm. The I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yes, there have the walls that are always topped with guards. Originally, back in the day, it was built as a fortification from the Dwendalian Empire to stop the Clovis Concord from, attacking. But despite the high presence of Crown's Guard, which are the military of the Dwendalian Empire, it really acts more of just like a waypoint and a trade route. You categorize like what goods you're carrying, why you're here. It's customs. However, it does occasionally, when some larger creatures or more hostile peoples will try to assault the gate, as it is like a main way of navigating between the two countries, and there's a lot of people and things like that. There's a high military presence. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Like, not enough that way you'd have to be worried about anything, but still enough to kind of feel uneasy about.
Right. You also know the gorge. The reason why there is such like a high military presence as well is that in the past it does have a history of being taken over by more intelligent hostile creatures such as bandits or like hobgoblins and things like that. As it's pretty easy to ambush people when you're walking through the Wuyong Gorge.
Yeah.
But high traffic area, so you win some, you lose some. You're more likely to find friendly faces than you are faces of foe, but
still have your
always
wits about
potential.
you. Yeah.
Right. Then, you also found out a little bit about Trossenwald. I should say about the gorge as well. I should have mentioned that. The types of creatures, because that's you specifically said that you were looking for types of creatures.
Yeah.
You've got occasionally have wandering larger creatures. You've got the like sometimes you'll even find giantkin who come down from the mountains.
Oh.
And yeah, so yeah, bandits, tribes of goblins and hobgoblins, giantkin, and large creatures like that that are hungry and coming down from the mountains, basically. Trying to leave it a little bit open-ended, but like also give you enough detail.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is occasional that the people will get attacked when monsters are hungry.
Understandably so.
It is probably the most common route to hire mercenaries of anywhere on the Amber Road or the Gilded Roadway. Like, out of them, it's a very treacherous part.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other? Oh, right, Trossenwald. I'm so sorry. My brain
That's alright.
is very slow. Trossenwald. Right. Trossenwald, right next to the Ustalak, which is a big, beautiful lake and is basically like the largest singular source of fresh water for most of the southern half of the empire. Um, it also has the largest source of fish as well. It's a very fishy area. But yeah, basically, it is right up against Trossenwald. And if you've ever heard the term a tross, which is a form of ale, it's so a tross is so common in just like regular vernacular that it's like ordering a beer. Like, yeah, I'll have a tross, right?
Okay.
Even though it actually comes from, it's like Kleenex versus tissue.
Yeah. Like saying the name brand versus just saying the generic drink.
Right. With a 20, I would say about the Ustalak, you know that that it is, while fiercely protected by the Crown's Guard, as it is the source of a lot of the prosperity that Trossenwald experiences. It is not without, dangerous creatures and the like. There's a couple of like old myths and stories at about some of the little smaller islands that are on the Ustalak, particularly the Crooked Stone, and it's a frequent coming of age trial that they go under to paddle out. That youth paddle out to the Crooked Stone to conduct their parting and rites of passage as to be an adult. Right? It's yeah.
Okay. Regional custom.
Yeah. Trossenwald is mostly humans. About 2/3 humans, with a good chunk of other people. As well, it's a pretty diverse city, and most notably known for ordering a tross and what tross are. Goodness gracious. Yeah, it's just a small city of competing breweries, fishing huts, and simple homes, right? And that's it. That's what you get. I don't have any more to say. I've said everything.
Okay.
Does that help? Is that the
Yes.
answers you were looking for?
Just so I know, like, later on, like, I know these things.
Yeah, of course. Alright. Quinn, you're searching up about lycanthropy?
Yeah, I am.
We're only an investigation check.
Get that nat 20, baby!
Is that what it's gonna be?
I believe in you.
Does he know the future? Investigation.
Crystal ball. Hey!
Dirty
It wasn't
20.
20. It wasn't that.
Pretty
But
damn
still.
close.
Still,
Okay.
19 is very nice.
You found several tomes about lycanthropy, some of which are just stories of people getting attacked. Quite a few about the inner workings of colonies of were-rats. And two books in particular that draw your interest about possible cures of lycanthropy, and not necessarily cures, but like how it forms. And it is lycanthropy is a blood-borne curse, something you are intimately familiar with, that causes a person's genetic formation to actually change. Once you begin, this is something you might not have known, but once infected with the curse and having been infected with it for an entire month, it literally changes the coding of your genes, and you are no longer technically human.
Or in this case, air genasi.
Right. Or in this case, air genasi. Doesn't mean that they won't retain their original race traits and features, and they will. However, it is always superseded by the curse. It is said that the only way to be certain that a curse of this magnitude is completely gone would be to kill its original source. So while there are many different theories, and we can get into those, on how to remove the curse from one person, the prevailing theory on how to be certain that it will work is to kill the original lycanthrope. It does not list a name for that original lycanthrope. It just tells you that that's the pervasive theory, is that whoever started the chain, killing them would allow it to be fully lifted. Right? Although the after effects of having turned a lycanthrope, having killed the source of the lycanthropy, it is unknown how that would necessarily affect those who are still currently afflicted with it. But the idea is that they would be able to lift the curse. If that makes sense. There are, if contracted and treated within the first 30 days of it, before the first full moon cycle, and before their first transformation, there is a rare plant called wolfsbane. That can be harvested and turned into a potion. That would stop the disease from progressing to a point that it becomes problematic. The jury is still out on whether or not Wolfsbane can help ease the transformation for those who are who do get fully turned and are beyond the help of that curing, like, quote, curing it would do within the first month. But some anecdotal reports say that it makes the transformation easier. There are myths and legends about various amulets and things on how that would help with resisting the transformations as well, but none of them are based in any sort of fact. And you know that the best way to kill a werewolf is with silvered weapons. And that during a full moon, a fully turned werewolf would be immune to most damage types, non-magical, bludgeoning, piercing, etc. Are there any specific questions that I can answer for you regarding?
No.
Okay. Wind chime? What are you doing?
Browsing. Books. Fiction books.
Okay. And Nahiri is right there next to you. Frequently, you guys would have to be told to be quiet as your guys' incessant chattering would rise beyond a acceptable level before being hushed back down to your quiet voices. You find a comfy spot near a fireplace.
Nice. Yeah, that's exactly.
Nahiri is reading a book called Girl with a Dragon Turtle, a story about a young elf's journey through life. It looks to be torn, stained, and even charred.
Was that... Did you just rip on Girl with a Dragon Tattoo?
Yeah.
I love it.
Girl with a Dragon Turtle.
With the dragon turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that just Bowser?
No. No, it is very much not.
Damn it.
However, funny.
Okay.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Because we do what Nintendo don't.
Nintendo. Okay. You folks who went up to the first tier of the archive,
I will
you,
be spamming guidance on myself up here.
you can put guidance on yourself once, or you can do one roll, but you no need to spam. It doesn't make any sense to just be like,
Yeah.
I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. You know, like every minute be all
Enhanceability,
like,
on the other hand.
The point being is, it makes sense every time that I am doing something particularly difficult to be guiding myself to help with that.
you do it once, and that's gonna be it. So immediately upon the the first tier of the archive, this is these are literally the archives. This is not the library. This is where a lot of rare tomes would be kept. Those who free access wouldn't. As important as free access is to the Cobalt Soul, these books are of particular value or import. You see many cases that have books that you would have to like stick your arms in these gloves to even operate them. You aren't even allowed to touch the
I
books
do not want to get hit by a ton of...
because they are of rare or value. Although there's plenty that aren't as well.
All right.
Musty
Well,
smell.
Well, Edward, what are we looking for this? With this?
I thought you were enlisting my assistance to look for something. As we're doing this, I guess I'll cast Enhance Ability. Praxis Cutting, advantage on all ability checks.
All right.
So yeah, advantage
On
on
who?
all ability checks. Involving intelligence.
On who?
Brine. She's the one
Okay.
jacking up her rolls, right?
Yeah. All right. As I said, I'm looking for books, specifically, out of purely selfish reasons. I'm looking specifically for anything on the portal that we encountered by Pomoflora. Although I am looking into the other portal as well that Edward said he was interested in.
Talking about the Shogren portal.
Yes.
Shotgun portal.
And also the one in the mountains. Those specifically.
Okay.
I don't
Go
think I
ahead.
would use just locate object on specifically a book of a topic, right?
No.
No.
Go ahead and roll
Investigation.
me. Yeah.
Disadvantage.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. 22.
Sorry, 22. It shouldn't have been a disadvantage. And then slash. So I don't actually have an option here. So 24.
For 24. Being familiar with the library definitely helps as you traverse. You're navigating your way around these tomes. Well, not in the place that you would expect. You do find a little bit about the a possible portal that is not a specific portal, but Shogwen tribes that form themselves around portals. Not that there is a large selection of them that do, and that research has been done, but there have been there's two instances of raids where people would go to prepare themselves for underwater battles with Shogwen, and upon investigating their home, they would find a specific portal at the center of the clan. I'm sorry, this is a lot of lore for me to be throwing at you guys, and my brain is like does not
You
function.
wanna take 5 minutes?
No, it's fine. I just it's cumbersome to go DM through and to tell you the information you want
I
to
mean,
know.
you can copy paste it for us, and then we can.
I don't have the copy and paste.
Oh.
I wish I did.
Off the top of her dome, my guy.
Okay.
Like, if I did, it would be great, but I don't, so...
Yeah.
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 Fine, you're doing wonderful. Whoever you are. Just keep writing the book in front of me.
Anyway, yeah, so basically, there are tribes that have formed around portals, based off of the first-hand account that you are gathering this from, which is a journal of somebody who was a part of one of those diving trips. Stated that as I looked upon the portal in the center of this room, its sheen and glassy surface reflecting back at me almost like a mirror, I could not but help myself reach my hand out and touch it. And on the other side, deep ocean, unfathomable in size. Sparse of sea creatures or life. Just endless ocean, endless water, deep and dark. As quick as I could, made my way back through to the other side, not wanting to be in the place of the cold again. And we quickly called out, we quickly called to some of our known clerics as they made their way to close the portal to that place in the deep unknown beyond.
Question for the DM.
Yeah.
When we went to the Sogwin, they said there was a city on the other side of the portal, yes?
They did. However, you know that this portal that they're talking about appears to be different than the one
Right.
mentioned. Well, that you guys went to. But yes, they said that there was a city. As a final note in his journal, he says, something along the lines of, some things are not meant to be explored. And you notice the ink on the dot of that sentence is thick and dark, as if it was a punctuated point. Literally.
All right. Is this useful in any way, Edward?
I'm not really quite sure. I mean, I can quickly copy this down. Not word for word, but generally the idea behind it.
Yeah, please do. My hands are kind of full of gloves here. There's some serious damage to this journal. Does the same journal have the other instance? Or is the other instance in a different book?
The other instance was in a different book, and it was only mentioned in passing, and it does not have like a journal text on it. Just that it was found near near the Mother Sai Reef.
And do both of these have a location?
Yeah, sorry, we'll say, I'm sorry here, I'm just looking at my map, make sure I get it correct. One was found, in the Mother Sai Reef, and the other was, found about, 500 miles. Let me just double check that. 200 miles, west of the Basaft Isle.
Sorry,
What
how do you
isle?
spell that?
Basaft. It's a Bisaft.
Bisaft.
And dial?
Isle.
Iles.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
Isele. Isle. Like island.
all right. Do we have a map on us?
I have a map on us.
All right.
As cartographer proficiency means I have maps.
Put a dot on each area on your map, if you will, and I want to see whether like a particular triangle shows up.
Okay, I'm gonna dip each dot with the pen.
You see, it's I'm so sorry.
Bless you.
Oh,
Bless you.
You okay?
500 feet east of Bisect.
What? No.
200.
200
I
miles
misspoke.
west
Oh, wait,
of
no.
the Basaft Isle.
Feet.
Feet
Two hu-
and wrong direction.
Wrong unit, wrong direction. Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, allergies.
I got a nosebleed.
Oh no.
You want to take like
I was gonna
10 minutes to clean that up?
I was gonna say, do we actually want to take 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me take 5. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'll take 5.
It's okay.
I gotta go rinse out my ice cream bowl.
I gotta go talk quick. Anyway.
So, finding interesting things. You guys find anything interesting? Theory time. Is anybody here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just zoning out.
No.
Anybody have any theories
About what?
about the portal mysteries?
No. Oh, the big portal, like the Sahagrin has a portal?
Okay, I'm back. Oof, sorry. Alright.
Is everybody here? No.
Yeah, Cameron and Rocky aren't.
Hate allergies so much. Fucking.
Hard agree.
My throat hurts so bad from the snot.
I'm back.
Me too.
Hey yo.
Okay, so no. You guys, so you pull out your map, which is pretty accurate. Not necessarily as accurate as like a professional cartographer, but it is pretty accurate. You point. First off, you mark where your portal was, which was about here. Mother Sai Reef, somewhere in here. And about 200 miles west of Besafta Isle would be about here. Maybe a little further.
So not a real triangulation, right?
I mean, it looks more like a line to me.
Yeah. But not a perfect one, so we can't assume any sort of latitudinal direction.
I mean, you reckon if we follow and trace along the general rough line of this, that we'd encounter more
Where are
portals?
the mountains you wanted?
Mountains pertinent to that is Ashkeeper Peaks. It's far east, not on
Yeah.
this part.
It's not on this map? Do
It's
you have
just
a
little bit more east of the
general
mountains.
location here?
General location there.
It's on the line.
Here. I'll bring up the map.
It's not quite on the
Right
line.
over here.
That's
You're right, it does intersect along that line.
not well though. Usually when it comes to things like that, it's pretty like direct.
I mean, if you're thinking about it, we're given a range of east of Ashkeeper Peaks. It could be calibrated slightly south of the position that we're given circled on this map.
And it's not like they gave you the latitude and longitude either of the locations described.
True. Let's assume for a second, and I'm going to kind of like draw my finger through the nicest possible way to try and see whether it would be even possible to make a straight line along one of the axes of the map. Straight through at least all points within range.
You can, and again, these are only approximations, but you can write on this map.
I'm assessing to. I'm assessing.
I'm not sure what
to-
you.
Essentially, what I'm asking is, I see the Ashkeeper Peaks here, right? I'm attempting to make. God, I hate this map sometimes. I'm attempting to see whether. Oh my god. I'm attempting to see whether I can do something like. Oh my. That. Whether that would intersect somewhere in the likelihood.
It's possible, yeah. You just did it.
Right. I'm asking if that end of the line actually is still in the Ashkeeper Peaks or if that's too far south.
I think it's still I'm confused about what you're trying to ask me. Like,
Oh, that entire range is the Ashkeeper Peaks. All the way down there. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. Alright. So the answer is yes. Working off this theory, assuming it goes straight west, we should find our portal in one of these two spots. That's a theory, obviously, but it gives us something to work off of. Instead of just
at least it
firing
doesn't make
blindly.
us blindly wander around looking for portals. I was thinking if we can calibrate a particular line along the latitude of the map in that sense, do you think that it would narrow down our search something along the lines of literally along the lines of straight across that particular map in that location?
Well, I mean, I'd say the first thing to do would be to see if we can't find the portal in the Ashkeeper Peaks, and then if we start with our latitudinal line, and it's where we expect it to be, we consider the theory to be likely correct. If it's not where we expect it to be, well, we have to search the mountain range.
Would that beg further credence to imply or suggest that there might be more portals along the line?
I'd say yes, probably. Although, what that means, I'm sure I don't have
What
the...
that means is that we could potentially be wandering down into the Blight Shore as far as there. And from what I've known or heard about that place, it's not quite a place that you would want anybody to go to.
Well, I'm not necessarily saying we should run over through any unnecessary places. We have to go to the Ashkeeper Peaks anyway.
Don't you think it's kind of odd that that line also intersects with Feolinn relatively well? I don't know, just an observation.
Yeah. Wait, the one you drew or the one along the line? Because I kind of wiped that off
One that
before
I
the
drew.
ink set. I suppose, but
I mean, there could be a degree of discrepancy here with the pivot of with the angle of the line that I drew it at.
Right. Well, we'll try the places that intersect. If we keep coming up on portals, we'll assume we're correct. If we don't keep coming up on portals, we'll assume that perhaps our assumptions are a little faulty.
I think so. I mean, I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket. What other information in this particular archive do you think we can get that could be a potential lead somewhere?
Plenty of time. Let's look for information on portals within the Ashkeeper Peaks.
Portals, but I mean, weren't you here mostly to search for portals pertaining to entrances to the Feywild?
I mean, I'm rather curious about the one we just showed up, and entrances to the Feywild are a little better documented than the portals you seem to be looking for, so I figured why not look at the harder thing first. Plus, these might be Feywild portals, who knows? Although, this one seems to be describing a portal
Don't
to the
seem
water
likely.
plane. Actually, would I know that?
is it within reason for you to know? Like, I'm asking you. Like, you're a scholar, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's within reason. Unless the theories of the different planes are that...
Only planal transit theory.
Gotcha.
No,
exactly. Yeah. I'm just wondering, like,
Um,
if in lore stories of other planes, like the fire plane,
Yeah.
water plane, all of that
Yeah,
are really
yeah.
rare.
I mean, they exist, the idea of there being multiple planes is fairly common. Most commonly, there's the Feywild. Then you've got the Shadowfell. You know,
That's all the
those
undead
are
go.
there's all of that. There's at least some documentation about things like the Abyss, and
Oh,
we even talked about. I guess you weren't there, but extra planar beings bringing goods in, being sold at the
Auction
Exalted
house.
Collection auction house.
Yeah.
all right.
I'm
So,
more concerned about Orcus from the Abyss. I did add that on my list.
Mm-hmm.
First things first, though. Let's see whether there's anything on portals in the mountain area.
That's oddly specific.
Ashkeeper Peaks. I know, we can afford to be specific.
I mean, I think we should
Otherwise,
stop.
we'll just run into every portal.
I think that this does take a lot of time, and I would like to give other
Agency to others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would actually like to go over to Windchime.
Yeah.
Windchime, you and Near here are having a great time trying to quietly chat and read your respective nonfiction books. Yeah. Excuse me, fiction books. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The point is,
The point is,
You
you can
know-
read.
yeah. You glance over your shoulder, and you happen to see a familiar-looking elf sitting at a table, head buried in a book. In the far back corner, where it was actually pretty difficult to see, there's a stack of books getting next to him as he's kind of poring over one of them on the floor.
It's done?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, it's the elf from earlier.
Oh. Yeah, I totally didn't see him there on the floor. What's he doing there?
I don't know. Maybe he's lost again.
Lost in a book, maybe.
Do you think we should check on him?
I mean, I'm not doing anything else if you're not.
This sounds like a TikTok show dialogue.
It sounds contrived, is what I think you meant to say.
I love the sweet smells of contrivance in the morning.
Well, I'm not doing anything right now. Why don't we go over here? Sounds good.
Holds out hands and then waits for a laugh track to play. Joke's on you, it's a 90s sitcom.
Ugh.
Look at that. Should we go talk to him?
I guess. Why not?
All right
The
then.
most
Let's
stagnant.
go.
Off we go across the library.
Right this way, around this shelf. Oh, look, a cart. Let's not get in the way of it.
Yeah. Quick, stop.
Oh.
Watch it.
God, this is painful.
Remember, don't drop your books.
Oh, definitely. I would never let a book touch the floor. Glares at all of the books on the floor.
Laugh track plays.
What is this about picking party members up in this library? First it was me.
The library is a great place to socialize.
You meet at a library.
Screw meeting in a tavern.
Hold on, I've seen this before.
Okay. So, you make your way over to Soren.
Mm-hmm. Hey there.
Oh,
Remember?
I'm sorry. You were going to say something?
Yeah. Remember me? My name is Windchime.
You're from the town square, right?
Yep.
I
That
do.
was-
How was the temple?
What?
How was the temple you guys went to?
Oh, it was kind of weird. We got out of there pretty fast.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Particular reason why?
We weren't feeling very religious today, I guess.
The cleric.
Well, what are you doing here? And is the rest of them with you?
Oh, yeah, they're like upstairs or something. Doing real
Literally
research.
just what?
I just wanted to look at books. What are you doing?
Just trying to waste the time, I guess.
Yeah. Before you travel to the same town that we're gonna go to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Riveting. You must like totally live an exciting life.
You could say that, I guess.
I guess I could.
You did say it.
Yeah.
What book are you reading right now?
Just a book on stars and constellations.
Like real stars and constellations or fake ones?
Is there a difference? Like, wait. How
What?
many fake constellations have you seen?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Neither do I.
I mean, you know, like I don't know, there's stars up in the sky and somebody just decided to draw them in the shape of weird animals. Like they could have been drawn different ways, you know?
I suppose that is correct.
Alright then. Nahir's gonna go over and she's gonna start like kind of perusing through the books in your stack before sighing and setting it back down.
None pique your interest?
No, not really.
What are you here looking for? Just here with Windchime?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Like, just here hanging out with Windchime.
Yep.
Oh,
Look, I mean,
What?
honestly, it seemed a little weird that you were sitting here on the ground, and Windchime
Why-
thought it was a good idea to come.
Why aren't you on a chair?
that is a good question. Sometimes the ground is a little bit more comfy. Do you happen to have a spot at your table? If you don't
Oh,
mind me
yeah.
joining?
we were sitting by a fireplace. You can totally join us. It's really cozy over there.
I'd love to. He's gonna try and pick up the entire stack of books.
Oh, here, let me help you. And Windchime helps him.
You make your way back to the table. With a pile of books. 2, actually.
Ooh.
I was
you.
reading a book called Little Red Riding Hood.
Is that so? Do you enjoy the story?
No, it's terrifying. It gives me flashbacks.
If you don't mind me asking, flashbacks to what?
The time I got attacked by my friend, who is not a werewolf, but is something very much like a werewolf.
They sound
Oh!
terrifying.
Oh!
That took you so long!
You have a friend that's a werewolf? But, like, totally not a werewolf? That's fucking metal.
Yeah, since you're gonna travel with me, actually, you should probably know for your safety.
As long as it's not silver, he's okay.
Should we be saying this around? Well, actually, my curiosity is super piqued. Tell me, are we traveling with a werewolf?
Not a werewolf.
A were something?
Panther.
Panther?
Oh, wait!
I've never heard of a were-panther before. That's fucking cool.
Hell
Sounds
yeah.
intriguing.
It's cool if you have never met one, yes.
It's
But-
cool.
What the
Not
shit?
cool.
That's cool
What
if
is
you're.
this shade?
That's cool if you're
No.
not knocked unconscious by it.
It sounds like there
Just
needs to be
one
some sort of, like,
time, bro.
personal development between the two of you. Like, there might be some, like, lingering hostility there.
Why is she a therapist?
You see these scars on my
You want to know how I got these scars?
Oh my god.
Wait, where are these
God.
scars?
Would you
on my neck. Here on my shoulder.
I caught a wanther.
Ah.
Oh. Oh.
When was the last time you saw me? Or, not yesterday. I mean, like, before, a month ago at the carnival.
That was a few months ago, but, like, totally. Wow, look at those. That's pretty cool. I used to know a guy who had scars like that. But he would put hooks in his skin, so it was, like, totally something that he would do and have.
Oh. Why did he, like, fish himself out of the ocean?
No, he was a part of the torture tent.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is it the meat hook suspension?
God,
Yeah,
That's
anyway.
how I know
Awful.
what that is. Why I know what that is. I just know random facts.
He would also put them in his eyelids. It was really
Ew.
creepy. Yeah, it was super cool.
Could
Wow.
he see through the hole?
I never thought to ask him that. I totally will next season, for sure. If he makes it back.
Yeah. Wow. Do you have any scars, Soren?
asks while looking at him dead in the face.
You want to show me your scars?
No.
Do
Do you want to throw up a picture of Soren again, just to?
Yeah, I will. I will.
Oh my god. Somebody's dying. Hold on.
Oh, I'm getting colored on.
Do you have any scars?
He looks like a bubblegum mascot.
Oh my god.
Do you have any scars? Obvious scar on nose and cheek and lip. I'm sorry. You want to ask that again?
Please tell us the story behind how you got each and every one of them. I'm deeply interested.
You're not there. Oh my god.
Yes, you could say I have scars, I guess. As he runs his finger over them.
Oh, really?
Our
what's
high
it with
insight cleric.
Clerics, yeah, clerics with 0 insight and 0 perception.
Oh no.
Actively, like.
Where did you get your scars?
Moving on. Are you guys looking for anything particular here, or are you just here to be with the group?
I just wanted to get out of the rain.
And I just wanted to spend time with her.
Interesting.
Oh.
Windchime literally reaches up and holds her hand.
Aw.
Nahiri
Aw.
blushes.
It's wholesome.
Perhaps I should leave you two alone for some alone time.
Bro, they're holding hands, not making out. My guy. They would leave.
You don't know that.
Maybe.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway, I would like to get back to my book if you don't mind. I did leave off on a pretty important part.
The constellations.
Yes, the fake ones.
God, the snark in this conversation.
Okay. I suppose I should finish reading this story too. Her grandma seems very sickly.
Is she like? My head hurts from like reading so much. Could you read it aloud for me?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Looks
Please
up the
don't
Little
tell
Red
me you're
Riding
actually
Hood.
asking Lily to read Little Red Riding Hood to you from memory.
Oh. No.
So once upon a time.
From Windchime's memory.
From once upon
In a fictional world. Like...
Remember, this is Dungeons and Dragons. It's not canonical that Little Red Riding Hood exists in the way that we remember it, so you can make it about whatever the hell you want and assume that it's canon from that point on.
She literally just
And the
recounts the
DM
time that
do
she got
very
attacked
little
by a
to
wind.
Good
The
lord.
DM could do
Panther.
very little to
Yep.
It's Red Riding Hood and the Were-Panther, not the werewolf.
And it is
no.
a were-panther, not just a wolf.
Not Little Red Riding Hood. It's Little Red, like Little Red horns, and
Oh,
it's
God.
trying to catch you.
Oh my god.
It's just about a tiefling.
Oh no!
Oh, red tiefling.
no.
Oh my god.
Oh no! Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
This explains why Little
Emotional
Red is giving her
damage.
flashbacks.
How about that?
Okay. With that, any other things that you guys want to say? Coolio, we're gonna flash back to the two that are upstairs.
Nice.
In tier 1.
Top tier.
For one.
Well, I mean, what other information can you possibly extrapolate from
There's-
the limited?
Something that this is something here. You know that there are at least 8 tiers considered in the archive.
And the
The
tiers
Cobalt
higher
Soul.
than tier 1 are like more and more secretive things.
Yes.
Or more
Yeah.
exclusive, dangerous knowledge that they don't want the public to have.
Most of my teachers probably had access up to about tier 6. One had access to tier 7. He was very proud of that. I know nobody with tier 8. And I'm an apprentice. I get tier 1. It's nice. There's some pretty cool stuff, but nothing uber dangerous.
You also would know that higher tiers, it's not necessary. You don't have to express this, but they also have artifacts as well. Like, it's not just books.
Like, say, for example, like if they were referencing these portals, they would have one of those orbs that would literally be offered to the portal
Might.
as like a
They
thing.
could. Right.
That's a very
It's an
big
example.
Hypothetically speaking,
Right. Hypothetically speaking, there might be the weapon a famous hero used for reference, right?
or a lodestone.
Exactly.
Literally just a lodestone. There's no explanation required. It's just a lodestone. They just don't want you to have it.
The point
I mean,
being,
reason.
the
It's a
point
lodestone.
being, there are plenty of things, but even tier 1 access means you have access to about 90% of the knowledge. They make most of their
most
knowledge
this
free.
knowledge in tier 1 is private documents and records of civil affairs that the
That
general
and
public is not
more-
entitled to access.
That and things that things that there aren't very many copies of. The lower level, it's free knowledge. We believe in making knowledge as free as possible. This knowledge has to be protected just because there's, more chance that if it's damaged and lost. It's also the only one you're allowed to bring outsiders into. The next tier up is, is
Typically more dangerous knowledge.
knowledge that most people shouldn't have unless they're vetted. I remember one of our teachers brought out one item from it, and it seemed pretty innocuous, but he was really cagey about it. Anyway, the point is, most knowledge is open to the public. This stuff is not very dangerous, and as you go up the rungs, the more secretive it becomes. Either for rarity or danger purposes.
I see.
But if there's knowledge that isn't incredibly dangerous to be had about these portals, it'll be here. On tier 1.
See, so hopefully, I'm assuming these innocuous portals, do they have any clue as to what might be going on
Well,
in said portals?
let's crack open another book. This is the inner workings of portals. Probably doesn't have anything, but can't hurt to try.
Okay. Go ahead.
And you're saying it
well,
would make...
fine.
Sorry?
What? Go ahead, ask your question.
You're saying it would make no sense for me to, like, guide myself before diving back into research?
Well, we're just gonna use the same stuff.
Okay. So just
What
working off the 24?
24.
Yeah. What information, like, are you looking for?
As I mentioned before, I'm looking for evidence of portals in
The Ash Peaks.
the Ashkeep Peaks, and also, because of the question, any information on just portals in general and what is on the other side. If there's like a detailed account, I'm gonna gloss over Feywild. I know what's on the other side of the Feywild portals.
Yeah.
It's a kitty.
If you
It's
can,
What?
If I can.
you can. There's another.
Sorry, I'm really confused on what's going on.
I'm waiting for Rocky to tell me to.
You can. There might. I don't know if this would be worth investigating, but if we do want to confirm that this particular piece of, assumption that we've strung together among 4 points that we were given as a point of interest is not a red herring, we could probably look for signs of any sort of extraplanar activity along the line of Blightshore that extends to the other end of the line. If we find literally anything about it, I think having, 5 consecutive points strung together within a straight linear of organization would be stronger evidence of this, and would also lend credence towards the Ashkeeper Peaks portals being associated more than to the Pomoflora portals, beyond the fact that both places were listed as locations of interest within a note that I found by parents that I don't know where they are.
I agree. So although I'll be honest on this one, if there's some long line of volatile portals that are really important to dangerous people, that might be one of the only scenarios where the information would be on a higher tier. Just a thought.
I don't think you would have access or have seen any of these books in person.
No.
Would you?
Barkley might have access to tier 2. He's I would been working on it for a while, but kind of useless to me. He's responsible, and he wouldn't just up and sneak us in for nothing.
Well, I think that trait itself makes him commendable and worthy of defending that knowledge to begin with.
I agree.
But
He's
if
a
you
good
can
guy.
give me a description of any books relating to the Blight Shore, or anything beyond that intersection of a line, I could perhaps locate it, see if it's within the floors above us.
I don't know any of the books, just a thought about worldwide magical influences. I feel like that's where the information can start to get dangerous for the wrong people to have access to.
I agree.
Still, we're probably okay.
Most likely.
So I'm gonna look for portals along that line as well as in the Ashkeeper Peaks, just to expand.
Can we get rid of the picture of the elf? Cause
Yeah. Okay. Ron is doing that here. So 24. You know, the Blight Shore. The Blight Shore is a savage wasteland, right? That is still struggling to recuperate itself after after the havoc that was wrought by the calamity many years ago.
Ganon?
No, not Ganon.
Hey, remember the first roll in this campaign was a nat 20 on a history for specifically information surrounding the Blight.
Right. Around this as well, this is additionally having access to knowledge better than what you would have had to. Right?
Fair.
This is a little bit more rare knowledge. Not. Anyway, the point being, it is generally assumed that the area of the Blight Shore, particularly on the coastline, experiences a sort of curse, the Blight Shore is a home to many weird and exotic and alien types of flora and fauna and the like, and as the magical residue causes the land to warp and change beyond what is normally possible. It's not unreasonable to see floating islands of Earth or wind that is that has electrical currents running through it. There's an entire land called the Ember Thicket that is just perpetually, it's lifeless and blackened trees perpetually smoldering in arcane embers, completely lifeless. As smoke billows all around, it's hard to see when you're traversing through it. There's many different types of fogs that appear to have varying effects. Some of them manipulating the psyche to have you experience hallucinations or even lose bouts of time or sense of self. There is many reports of people walking around as hollow husks of themselves, devoid of souls and devoid of, what makes somebody alive yet still walking, but not yet zombie-like. There is excuse me. There are odd areas of the Blight Shore that experience gravity reversal or even lack of gravity thereof completely. And even the rust rain, which causes all metal to corrode as it's perpetually raining. This corrosive material. Generally, uncanny is the Blight Shore, a graveyard and a wasteland of arcane wars, basically. It's just this perpetual scar, and there's nothing like it in all of Exandria. But it's so particularly dangerous to traverse that even at tier 1, the knowledge that you gain is only vague and in nature.
They really don't want to encourage people to travel here. So likely not heading there, but I'd argue it's probably a good bet that there's at least one portal there with all that arcane energy running around. It'd
Well, I mean, it's
probably
impossible.
rip a tear in this plane in at least one place. That Ember Thicket sounds like a pretty good candidate for the fire plane, for example.
Okay. In regard to the Ashkeeper Peaks, and what has been explored there, in particular, the Ashkeeper Peaks is wrought with occasional magic hiccups, where the where locals would claim that that avalanches are only just the gods opening up a portal and pouring rocks through. There's a massive mining operations that are done throughout the peaks, and many a miner has claimed to be trapped in walls of stone, unable to escape, suffocating and dying. And there's even rumor of high up in the Ashkeeper Peak somewhere is a tribe of Aarakocra who work in their small insulated community and may have some sort of access to in their excuse me.
You mean to like summon air elementals?
Yes, thank you. Summon air elementals, and in their religious rites, it is said to be there's multiple different words for goodbye in the language of the Aarakocra, and one of them is somewhere along the lines of like fly through an endless sky, right? And that's typically reserved for saying goodbye permanently in death rites and things.
Huh. That's an interesting line there. Do you think it's possible the Aarakocra have a portal to the plane of air?
I mean, I would imagine it's. Quick question for the DM. Would I know, like, obviously I know that Aarakocras can summon elementals, air elementals. Would Edward know that Aarakocras can summon air elementals?
I'm asking you. You know what your knowledge is. What do you think is reasonable for you?
It's like, I just know.
A well-studied person. If you want to, and you don't want to make the decision, you could roll
History?
I'll say right now,
history.
Brine doesn't know.
I would say you could
I
probably
would
know
say
that.
19 is pretty good. Well, I mean, it could totally be possible that conjuration of air elementals could just be them drawing from, a connection between the elemental plane of air, which is rumored to exist, and if we know that they have some sort of communion or connection or affiliation with an elemental plane, that it wouldn't be weird or obscure for it to be possible to contact other planes not through
Wait a
not
second.
too different from rituals such as that.
What if? Give me a second here, and she's gonna kind of like mark off where the one from the journal is. Then she's gonna mark off where the fire, the smoldering embers area is. Then she's going to like kind of mark 2 marks on the map, to say, you know, this is where we believe the Aarakocra and mining operations might happen. If we listen to all the descriptions, what if we assume the plane of fire is what's causing that ever smoldering area? We'd have all 4 elemental planes in a line.
Water, air, fire. Where would the earth one be?
The earth one's in the mine. Remember, the miners say they find themselves sometimes trapped entirely within stone. Sounds like the plane of earth to me.
As if the gods themselves tore open a portal to dump rocks down a mountain.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably apocryphal, but what if it's not? A portal of earth would definitely...
And you said the fire one was here?
Yeah. Seems right. So,
Would there be some sort of
fire, air, earth, and water? Going back from there? What are the other elemental planes, if there are any?
I think it's just those 4.
It's major 4. There are a variety of very specific and considered, quote, smaller planes. However, they do span infinitely. And sorry, my dog. Those planes are mentioned. You actually would know this, Edward. It's hard to tell what is a demiplane sometimes and what is a plane of the abyss.
So there's not a clear distinction or, definition for those 2 to be categorized as 2 different things.
Right. However, there are common and well-known planes.
Yeah.
Right? But that could be either a part of the abyss or Debbie, right?
Yeah. Now, here's a question for you. So, let's assume for a moment that exposure to the fire, elemental plane of fire, or exposure to some connection through it were to be able to warp me into the fire genasi that I am today. Would it be weird if we cross-referenced any information relating to any other counts of genasi? We know that they definitely exist, and although they're relatively rare among Exandria and Wildemount together, we know that they exist. Do you think we can find any affiliations with them if we looked deeper into that particular topic?
Well, we'd have to either find a study specifically talking about the creation of Genasi, which I don't even know if that's here, or we'd have to find a census. That's probably here, but that would probably take the rest of our time and then some.
It's true.
I'm actually going to cut things off.
Fair enough.
So anything that you need to wrap up. This library session took way longer than I expected it to.
We want lore!
What happens when we want 2 people who are lore hungry that overthink everything get together in a room?
Oh my god. Would you look at the time? Half of the people are at the library, and I'm sure we've overstayed our welcome.
Your party is gone.
Yeah.
I don't think I even got to
Yeah,
look
we
at
left
that.
a while ago. Like, shit.
Dinner's cold.
Yeah, like it's gone, man. I actually ate your helping.
Both of yours.
I turned into a winter and ate both.
Alright, we should probably go back.
I suppose we should pack things up.
Acting. Oh, our notes, yes.
Yeah, my map are squiggly lines across this piece of paper that somehow is coherent. I'm gonna start rolling up the map into a scroll and put it back in neatly into the bag and everything else. I think we should probably head back. It's getting relatively late and we should probably be up early tomorrow so that we don't miss our
Yeah,
job.
you're probably right.
All right, and with that, you guys pack up and make your way back to the Renette residence. Thank you guys very much for playing with me today.
Woo!
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I promise you there's going to be combat next session.
Oh boy. Which
Yeah.
get ready to almost die, guys.
Get ready to kill Don. I mean, what?
We promised
There
there's
will
combat
be
next
combat
session
next
because
session.
because this
He
man's
comes
not
to each
surviving.
of our house with an axe.
We promise
No,
combat
no,
next.
it's the paladin. He's gonna come kicking down the door.
I promise combat
the sword
next
that we
session.
referred
Quick,
to
use quick use Soren as a bear shield.
Oh,
Soren is a bear shield.
I'm sorry for taking up so much time.
It's all right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all so much for watching on YouTube. If you like this video, leave a like. If you want to provide some feedback, either positive or constructively critical, leave it below in the comment section. If you want to see more stuff and see it come up on your timeline, subscribe.
Twitch.tv/FrigidHyperion,
I'm
guys.
getting there, God damn it.
Twitch.tv/FrigidHyperion.
Please stop. It's my show.
Okay.
I'll plug
Excuse
in.
me?
I'll plug in my URL when I damn well want to. And if you want to catch our live streams,
Hello.
Say the line, Bart.
if you want to catch
Say the line.
if you want to catch us live, we do this every Monday, typically at 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern, over at
Did you say?
twitch.tv/FrigidHyperion.
There you go.
He said it.
He said the line.
Fuck all of you.
Every Monday, everybody.
Have a good night. Good night, everybody.
All right. Love you too, Cameron. See you next Monday.
Mwah.